May all beings have happiness and its causes. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings never be separated from the great happiness that is beyond all misery. May all beings dwell in equanimity, unaffected by attraction to dear ones and aversion to others. May all beings recover from the sicknesses of mind and body pollution, and enjoy relative and absolute health now and forever. May all beings relax in a pure and healthy outer and inner environment now and forever. May all beings enjoy inner peace and world peace now and forever. Marasem chen kungi gengyu chi dure bunje mi tse jom tse la ngena malu yanda kengyu pe chomden go jene rie shek su so. Protector of all beings without exception, endless subduer of harmful beings and energies, deity, perfect knower of all things, Bhagavan in attendance, please come here to this place. Manibhadra, the model wife. When my mind was shrouded in ignorance, critical thought attended every sound. But when my mind's nature was revealed to me, I understood that whatever appeared before me was reality itself. In the town of Agatse, many years ago, there lived a wealthy householder with a beautiful 13-year-old daughter. As was the custom, she was betrothed at that age to a man of her own caste, but she was allowed to continue living at home until she was old enough to take up her wifely duties. Manibhadra chanced to be in her mother's kitchen one afternoon when the Guru Kukuripa came to her house begging food. She welcomed him and served him with her own hands, all the while peeping shyly at him under lowered lashes. Finally, throwing girlish modesty to the winds, she exclaimed, "What a handsome man you are! Why do you go about in patched robes, begging food, when you could take a wife and live as comfortably as my father?" The yogin laughed with delight at the girl's innocent inquiry. "Thank you, my dear," he said, "but that is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. I'm terrified of the wheel of rebirth, and I live this way and practice meditation because I'm trying to free myself from the karmic round of life after life. I may not get another chance anytime soon, you know." "Why is that, holy sir?" asked the girl, wide-eyed with interest. "That is because human birth is a precious opportunity to make spiritual progress," he replied. "When I realized that, I gave up my old life Manibhadra's faith was immediately kindled, and such was her trust of the yogin that she begged him to show her the way to liberation. "I live in the cremation ground. Everyone knows me," replied Kukuripa. "If you want to know more, just ask for me there." Then he thanked her for her hospitality and departed. Manibhadra was so lost in thought over what the yogin had said to her that she neglected her chores for the rest of the day. When night came, she could not sleep, so eager was she to learn more. So she rose, dressed, and slipped unnoticed out of the sleeping household. Although she had never been out alone in her life, she walked fearlessly through the shadowy streets to the cremation ground. A A kind beggar showed her the way to Kukuripa's hut, and the yogin welcomed her in. Recognizing the maturity of her mind and the sincerity of her purpose, the yogin gave his young supplicant initiation and empowerment. Then he instructed her in the practice of creative and fulfillment meditation. Kukuripa allowed the girl to remain in his hut alone for 7 days while she established herself in the practice of her sadhana. However, when she was nowhere to be found, her family grew frantic with worry. They didn't know what could possibly have happened to their daughter or where to turn. Here they were, one of the finest families in town, a pure bloodline going back for generations. Such a blot on their reputation had never occurred before. They didn't know whether to weep with grief or shame. When Manibhadra finally returned, her parents beat her and called her every sort of name for disappearing and causing such a scandal. It was amazing that her betrothed was still willing to honor their engagement. With great calm and presence, their daughter defended herself. There is no one in the universe who has not been either a father or mother to me, she said. After all, why was I born into a family with a pure bloodline and fine reputation, if such good fortune doesn't allow me to free myself from the grip of samsara? I have been with my guru, who has taught me how to practice a sadhana of liberation, and I have already begun. Manibhadra's parents were so impressed with their daughter's bearing and assurance that they could find no words to answer her, and they raised no objections when she asked to be relieved of her household duties in order to practice her sadhana one-pointedly. A year passed, and the time grew near for Manibhadra's fiancé to claim his bride. The family was filled with anxiety, certain she would refuse to fulfill her obligation. Imagine their surprise when she accompanied her husband to her new home with no complaint and no resistance. Her family was even more astonished when they heard that Manibhadra had become a model wife. She did all and more than was expected of her with great cheerfulness and affection. She never lost her temper and always spoke sweetly and behaved modestly. In good time she gave birth to a son and then a daughter, and brought them up in an exemplary manner. Hers was the happiest of households. In this fashion, 12 years passed in perfect harmony. Early one morning, the 13th anniversary of meeting with her guru, as luck would have it, she was on her way back from the stream, carrying a pitcher of water on her head. Deep in meditation, she failed to notice a tree root that had freed itself from the earthen path. She tripped and fell, and the pitcher crashed to the ground and broke. No one saw her for the rest of the day. They searched high and low, and then late in the afternoon someone remembered that she had gone out earlier for water. Her anxious husband went looking for her and found her sitting quietly in the middle of the path, gazing fixedly at the broken bits of pitcher. He spoke to her, but she seemed totally unaware of his presence. He tried shouting at her, and then he attempted to lift her from the ground, but she remained utterly rooted to the spot. He called the neighbors to see if they could do anything, but Manibhadra remained immobile and silent until nightfall. Then she looked up, surprised to see such a gathering around her. Her eyes clear and shining, she looked at them all tenderly, and sang this song of realization. From the beginning of time, sentient beings have broken their vessels, and their lives end. But why do they then return home? Today I have broken my vessel, but I am abandoning my samsara home for the realms of pure pleasure. How wonderful is the Guru! If you desire happiness, rely on him. So saying, Manibhadra levitated into the sky and remained there for 21 days, giving instruction to the people of Agatse. And then she bid farewell to her family and neighbors, and was assumed bodily into the paradise of the Dakinis. Ni modele tsendele, ni mego hungyang shin, nin sentak tu pe, kunsho sumgi jingi lob, kunsho sumgi ngadrobzo, kunsho sumgi tashi sho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.